I'm going to go over actually a whole lot of events that just went down on the other side of the border of Russia. Some pretty crazy things here, and we're also going to talk about some things that were pretty predictable but now are happening. We will mention another train that was carrying 30,000 gallons of propane ended up spilling or getting off track. We're going to talk about, of course, Lukashenko has now arrived in China. Belarus official says that this whole, activist blowing up the spy plane was fake. This is exactly what we predicted. And then, of course, with the Vlad's ship, we'll talk about that. All the ships that went down to South Africa, some are saying that those might actually come this way, that they're on their way back, and they actually might be headed towards UKR as well. So there's a lot of stuff there. But I do want to point out, I mean, we're living through a bad B movie, and a lot of this is, they put out through mainstream, and since nobody believes mainstream, it's kind of crazy, but you see about 10% truth in there and 90% of the Ganda. So just take everything here with a grain of salt that I'm about to read, but this is what the official narrative is right now. And it is pretty alarming. Even if 1% of this is true, then we're definitely into a new stage and things are moving along very fast. It said that the drones that the Kremlin said that were launched by UKR flew deep inside Russian territory, including one that got within 60 miles of Moscow, signaling breaches in Russian defenses as Vladimir Putin ordered stepped-up protection at the border. It said officials said that the drones caused no injuries and did not inflict any significant damage, but the attacks on Monday night and Tuesday morning raised questions about Russian defense capabilities more than a year after the country's full-scale invasion of its neighbor. UKR officials did not immediately take responsibility, but they similarly avoided directly acknowledging responsibility for past strikes and sabotage, while emphasizing UKR's right to hit any target in Russia. Again, most people do not support UKR going into Russia and actually, basically going back over the border. Some say, hey, it's conflict. This goes back and forth. But some don't approve of it because obviously this is being funded. All of the equipment is coming from NATO and the US, and a lot of taxpayer dollars are being spent on a non-NATO member. So there's a lot of debate right now about what is happening here. But one thing is definitely going on is they're telling us that now there are strikes going on in Russia. We reported before that they have put anti-air missiles on their rooftops in downtown areas. They have been setting up rapid ready points and these, alert centers. They're building houses for future troops. They're building houses for anybody that joins any part of the military. So it seems like they're in for a long game. It said, although Putin did not refer to any specific attacks in a speech in the Russian capital, his comments came hours after the drones targeted several areas in southern and western Russia. Authorities closed the airspace over St. Petersburg in response to what some reports said was a drone. So, man, over there, they actually closed a big chunk of airspace, which we don't know what really happened there, but we are seeing this happen. In fact, all over the world, actually, many times was because of the balloon, but they keep closing airspace. This one was said because there was a possible drone, right? It said also Tuesday, several Russian television stations aired a missile attack warning that officials blamed on a hacking attack. So I just want to point out, whether this is a hack or not, these false alerts are very terrifying. And it said that the drone attacks, as far as the hacking attack, basically these TV stations ended up having, they aired a missile attack warning. It kind of brings us, or some of us, to think about, the false missile alert in Hawaii and other events that have happened over time. I'm just wondering if this is kind of a telltale sign of what is to come. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe somebody slipped on the button that was pre-prepared, and maybe it was at the wrong time. I don't know. But what I do know is this hacking attack, there's probably going to be a whole lot more, especially if this was somebody that they didn't like and they find out who did it. It says the drone attacks targeted regions inside Russia, along the border, and UKR deeper into the country, according to local officials. It says a drone fell near the village of Gubastavo, less than 60 miles away from Moscow. And it says Andrei Vorobyev, governor of the region surrounding the Russian capital, said in a statement online, it said that the drone did not cause any damage, but it is likely targeted a civilian infrastructure. So, and then it says Russian forces early Tuesday shot down another UKR drone over the Bryansk region, local governor Alexander Bogomaz said in a Telegram post. So again, this is a lot of this does not actually get out until it gets out to some of these sources, because our mainstream media is not actually covering a whole lot that's going on there. And of course, we know that half of all of their media is actually banned and all over the place. You can't reach. It said that 3 drones also targeted Russia's Belgorod region on Monday night, with one flying through an apartment window in the capital. Local authorities reported. Regional Governor Vyacheslav Gudkov said that the drones caused minor damage to buildings and cars. The Russian Defense Ministry said that UKR used drones to attack facilities in the Krasnodar region and neighboring Adygea, and it said that the drones were brought down by electronic warfare assets, adding that one of them crashed into a field and another diverted its flight path and missed a facility it was supposed to attack. Russia's state RIA Novosti news agency reported a fire at an oil facility, and some other Russian reports said that 2 drones exploded nearby. Some Russian commentators described the drone attacks as an attempt by UKR to showcase its capability to strike deep behind enemy lines, foment tensions in Russia, and rally the UKR public. Some Russian war bloggers described the raids as a possible rehearsal for a bigger, more ambitious attack. So I know many people that will be absolutely stunned if UKR starts actually going over the border and charging into Russia. I believe that most people are not supportive of even the conflict right now. I think the approval poll is way down at like 58% actually approve us being in UKR in the first place, which again, almost half of Americans don't want us to be in this thing. But that is even sinking lower. One thing that I worry about is the event that would have to happen for the approval rating to shoot up to the very top. You guys all know what I'm talking about when I say that. Fantastic Freddy Friday kind of things, and I'm hoping that that does not happen. But right now, from what is being reported, they are definitely going over Russia's lines. They're hitting different targets, and of course it is claimed that they are also targeting civilian infrastructures. So there's a lot of damage being done on both sides, and nobody knows what to believe. It said the Andrei Medvedev, a commentator with the Russian state television, who serves as a deputy speaker of Moscow's city legislature, runs a popular blog, warned that the drone strikes could be a precursor to wider attacks within Russia that could accompany UKR's attempt to launch a counteroffensive. Now, the general SVR that came out on February 9th that talked about the big full mobilization on January 18th, on the 18th, that ended up happening. All of the things in that telegram have ended up in some way or form coming true. That doesn't mean it's necessarily, who they say they are. They say they're SVR, essentially CIA equivalent in Russia. And they say that some of them are former CIA. In that post that they put out on the 9th, it said that there would be a full mobilization by the 18th. The first 2 weeks would be covert, that there would be drills in Russia to evacuate leadership in case of a nuclear catastrophe. They said that there would be big events around the time, and they said big events, non-specific and vague, around the time of the anniversary of the invasion in UKR. And then they also said that they believed that there would be these events that happened inside Russia. You also had multiple people on the UKR side that said that somebody is going to be attacking Russia, but it may not be us, basically implying that it either may be NATO, or it might be a third party, or it might be people from inside their country doing all of these crazy things. Right now, there's a lot of spy stuff happening. I think that this is definitely going in the direction that most people thought it was going, and I don't think it's going to just turn around and go away. Unfortunately, I think that this is the time when we're going to see our third, great conflict. And I think that the sooner that people realize that, the sooner we can come to a solution. You can't really fix a problem if you don't admit that it exists. But also it said also on Tuesday, authorities reported that airspace around St. Petersburg, so this was the rest into that, Russia's second largest city was temporarily closed, halting all departures and arrivals at the main airport at Pulkovo. Officials did not give a reason for the move, but some Russian reports claimed it was triggered by an unidentified drone. Some others believe that there is actually something else going on there. I would love to hear your suggestions on this. And then another little comment here was another retired military officer, Victor Alksnis, noted that the drone attacks marked the expansion of a conflict and criticized Putin for failing to deliver a strong response. The Russian defense ministry said that it was conducting air defense drills in Western Russia. Now, there's drills going on with Poland, with, of course, Germany, with the U.S. There were these drills that were going on with China and Russia down in South Africa. Those are now done. We're going to talk about that tonight on Marfoogle News, again, on Marfoogle TV, our sister channel. So make sure to tune in for that. Also, we're independent. Make sure to go over to marfooglenews.com. Check out any of our affiliates. Affiliates are essentially products that we believe in, that if you go and purchase, you end up helping us and supporting us with a commission. Make sure to go check out marfooglenews.com/prep. That helps us out, and it gets you a giant discount and free gear right now for freeze-dried 25-year shelf life food. So make sure to go check that out. That's marfooglenews.com/prep. Just to highlight some of the things we'll be talking about again, the train carrying more than 30,000 gallons of propane. We'll give you the full story on Marfoogle TV. Iran issues a threat to take out our previous president and Mike Pompeo for the perishing of Soleimani. I want to point out, this is something I've talked about for years. The whole Soleimani thing, something is popping off right now. And I do believe that this is an update to an older story that we already covered. And I'm going to show you why I think that that is something everybody should be paying attention to. And then, of course, and by the way, that country could be the puppet that ends up starting off all of this. And then Lukashenko arriving in China. Obviously, big moves are made right after these things happen, right after there's big meetings. And of course, everybody's going to be like, oh, this is convenient timing. Right after Lukashenko ends up meeting with Xi, something is going to pop off and go, oh, it's just a coincidence that they just met with Xi. Not to mention, Belarus, the story we got for this attack that happened in Belarus just about 2 weeks after Belarus said that the only way we would join in with Russia against UKR is if we got attacked on our own land. What happens? Like I called it on the 16th, it was attacked. And of course, the narrative said, oh no, this was people from inside the country, they're activists. Well, official Belarus people are saying that that's not that's not it. So whatever that, people thought maybe that was a cover story, so it wouldn't be a war trigger type thing, but they're actually saying that it was not real or something to that order. So we'll talk about that on Marfoogle TV. I mean, that's what we called Foogle Fam. We got it. All of this stuff is like a bad B movie, and you know that she's going to run up the stairs instead of out the front door. And unfortunately, we're living through that, and we're going to be the victims of that. So everybody should be trying to get their ducks in a row and make a general plan. I believe the most likely event out of all of these countries that are fighting right now is a cyber event or something with our grid. So people should, again, try to make plans around that and be responsible about it, and get your stuff in a row just in case. And we're going to be talking about the UKR conflict, the Russian warships, hypersonic cruise missiles heading towards possible UKR. Some even believe that they're heading towards the East Coast. I think it's more likely that they're going to head towards UKR, but we'll talk about that tonight over on Marfoogle TV. So make sure to go subscribe there, and make sure to share this out. It is a short shareable video for that purpose. We can't get out there without your help. So please make sure to share this, put it on all of your social media platforms, and let us know you did so in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Foogle Fam. Thank you, Kenny Crowder. Says, good evening, Dex Mods, and Adam Dex Mods, and love your way. Well, thank you, Kenny, and appreciate the support. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. We'll be live on Marfoogle TV in about 15 minutes, so we'll see you there.